You ever wonder how a voice AI goes from just, answering your questions to actually doing things for you? Well, today we're digging into that. We're going to break down the architecture behind voice AI that truly acts. Look, we've all chatted with a voice assistant, right? But there's a huge, huge difference between one that can answer a question and one that can book an appointment, transfer a call, or even update your CRM. That massive leap, it all comes down to architecture. And this right here, this is the core idea. The ability to use tools is what transforms a conversational AI from a simple little chatbot into a powerful digital worker that's capable of actually executing tasks. Okay, so to perform these actions, every AI agent needs its own toolkit. Let's break down the 4 essential components that make it all work.
First up, you've got the brain, and that's the large language model, or LLM. Think of things like GPT-4. This is the part that gives the agent all its smarts, its reasoning, its understanding, and its ability to hold a totally natural conversation.
All right, next up, every agent needs a script. We call this the prompt, but it's way more than just a simple question. It's the rulebook. It defines the agent's whole personality, its main goal, and the exact step-by-step instructions it has to follow. Okay, this part is so important. The hands. These are the agent's tools and functions. These are the actual abilities that let it interact with the real world. Things like booking an appointment on a calendar, transferring a call to a human, or shooting off a confirmation text. This is the action part. And finally, every agent needs a library. This is its knowledge base. Think of it like a separate cheat sheet, with all the external info it needs, like company policies or FAQs. This is great because it gives the agent all the context it needs without having to cram everything into its main script. So you've got these 4 pieces, right? The brain, the script, the hands, and the library. What's really cool is how you can put them together in different ways for different jobs. And that brings us to 3 main architectural blueprints for building these agents. First up, let's talk about the simplest design, the single prompt agent. And yeah, just like the name says, it's all about keeping things straightforward. So with this one, the agent's entire logic, I'm talking its personality, its instructions, every single tool it's allowed to use, it's all packed into one big, comprehensive prompt. A really great example of this is an AI receptionist for a doctor's office. Its job is totally linear, right? It just has to greet the patient, gather their symptoms, it would use a tool for that, like an extract details tool, and then boom, seamlessly transfer the call to the right person using a transfer tool. Super simple and really effective. So yeah, this blueprint is awesome for those simple, straightforward jobs. But what happens when the instructions get super long or the task gets a lot more complex? Well, the agent can start to get a little confused. And that's exactly why we need a more sophisticated approach. And that brings us to our second blueprint, the multi-prompt agent. This one is built specifically for those more dynamic, more complex conversations. So instead of one giant monster script, this architecture uses something called a prompt tree. Just picture a collection of smaller, more focused prompts, where each one handles a different stage of the conversation. And the advantage here is pretty obvious, right? Let's say you have an AI travel agent. It can start in a discovery phase to figure out where you want to go. Then it can smoothly transition to a budget phase to talk about pricing. And finally, it can jump to a scheduling phase to actually book the trip. It's way more fluid and logical. This kind of modular approach gives you the control you really need for real-world business uses. Because let's be honest, conversations are rarely a straight line. This is built for those production-level jobs that need to be able to adapt on the fly. Okay, so what if you need something with absolute structure? Something totally predictable? For that, we have the conversational flow agent.
Now, this is really different. With this one, the logic isn't written out in a text prompt. Instead, you build the conversation visually. It's just like making a flowchart where you drag and drop and connect different nodes for actions, questions, and all the possible responses.
So this is the one you use when you need the agent to follow a super specific step-by-step process every single time, with zero room for it to go off script. It gives you the ultimate control over the conversation. This blueprint really shines for those super structured outbound campaigns. Think about a dental clinic's AI calling up old patients to get them to book a checkup. It's predictable, it's repeatable, and it is incredibly efficient for those kinds of process-driven jobs. All right, let's tie this all together. What we're really looking at here is a pretty clear evolution in how these AI agents are being designed. So we've gone from a simple, all-in-one script that's great for basic tasks to a more modular, state-based system for those tricky, complex conversations, and finally to a super structured visual flow for predictable processes. The bottom line is, each blueprint is just the right tool for a different job. And by understanding these 3 different architectures, developers and businesses can pick the right foundation. They can build specialized AI agents that have exactly the right tools and the right logic to actually get things done in the real world. And really, this whole shift from just simple conversation to tool-based action is what's turning voice AI from, a cool novelty into a new kind of digital coworker. It really makes you think, doesn't it?